Greetings, everyone. I'm Saratoga Ocean, and today I have a special surprise for you in this video. I have a very powerful channeled message for you all from Archangel Michael, and I want to share with you how this message came to be. So yesterday, after I was finished meditating, Archangel Michael came to me and let me know that he wanted to relay a message to everyone, but he wanted to do it as a written message. So we sat down and we did this as automatic writing. So when we were finished, I had the entire written message, and at first I thought about reading it to you all on camera, but then I thought, that seems a little boring to watch. So what I decided to do instead is I decided to record myself reading it to you. And then I'm going to, so after I do this little introduction for you guys, I'm going to play the recording of my reading his message to you. And then I'll come back at the end and just say a few more words. So I want you to know that when I'm reading this message, I'm not actually channeling Archangel Michael. I'm reading the automatic writing myself. So I'm reading it myself. When I channel Archangel Michael, when I actually channel him, I am a full body channel. So when I do channel him, my voice will definitely change, which is not what's going to happen here because, like I said, it'll just be me reading the automatic writing message from him to all of you. All right, so now I want to just say one more thing about this message. This message is very, very powerful, and it's all about what he calls the false god. And I was really amazed at this message. I think he's opening a door for us to see something that we maybe haven't seen before. And I'm sure there are going to be questions after this, and I'm sure this is not the complete message. I'm sure he's going to come back with more. But this is really, really fascinating. So I hope you guys enjoy this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go off camera. I'm going to let you hear the audio of me reading Archangel Michael's message, and then I will return after that is complete. My dearest friends, there is a force that is currently gripping your world in a brazen attempt to hold on to what it thinks it owns. However, the truth is that nothing owns this planet because the planet itself is a sovereign being. Therefore, the appearance of ownership of this planet is a blatant lie. It is illegitimate by nature. The message that I have for you as human beings upon this illustrious sphere is that your thoughts have consequences in terms of how this illegitimacy unfolds. The fact that you believe yourselves to be slaves and victims of unspeakable horrors only makes it more so. You are currently suffering on a collective basis from that which has been known as a form of Stockholm Syndrome. In other words, you are collectively identified with your captors. Therefore, you pray, as victims would pray, to what you perceive as your Almighty God, but what in truth is only more of the same. The Creator of all that is does not produce victims and perpetrators. That manifestation is the result of something else. But it certainly is not what you have collectively referred to as God. Yes, indeed, there is a God in your manner of speaking, but it is not the one you should be praying to. It is a false God designed through the use of religions to enslave you forever. It is the fake God who will have you praying like victims from now until the end of time. For as long as you pray like a victim, you will continue to be a victim. Allow me to explain to you the nature of this false God. This is the famous God of duality. It is the God of hierarchies that never existed before its inception. Allow me to share with you some of the tenets of this false God, which are perpetrated through religions and also through many so-called New Age undertakings. This is the false God that will always explain away torture, pain, and immeasurable suffering as spiritual and necessary. But it is time that you understand that your miseries are only necessary for the false God itself. It is utterly ridiculous to consider them necessary in any other context. This false God has you collectively mesmerized with a peculiar form of insanity. It will endlessly torture and torment you as a species while telling you that it is necessary for the evolution of your soul. This, my dearest friends, is a lie on its face. Torture does not beget evolution. If you were in your right minds, you would instantly know this. You would see it for what it is. Do you not remember that this universe was conceived in love? Do you think that love invokes torture and torment? Your false God will tell you that it does. It will tell you that love is really a system of punishment and reward. It knows that you need the love just to hold you together on an energetic basis. But then it will use that love and revoke your access to it by denying you the experience. In other words, it needs your desire for the love so that it can then revoke your access to it, thereby inducing many forms of inhumane torture. What do you think death is, after all? Death is designed for many purposes, none of which are in your own best interests, and all of which are solely in the interests of this false God. Now, this false God has many minions who exist in total subservience to its demands. Some of these minions are interdimensional. Some are what you call extraterrestrial. And many of these minions function in the human sphere of this planet, along with other realms of existence. So now you see that your planetary Earth is in quite a fix. Yet you continue to pray to the false God who is the perpetrator of all of it. This is the very same God who will tell you that this is all happening for a very good reason. Well, of course it is. It is all happening for the very good reasons of the false God itself. How much more suffering are you willing to endure before you actually wake up in the truest sense of the word? You say that you are awake now, but you are only just beginning to arise from a very deep slumber. The awakening that you most need is to awaken to seeing the existence of the false God itself. As long as you continue to plead and pray like a victim who is begging for mercy and begging for an end to your and your planet's suffering, you will continue to give this false God exactly what it wants. It wants your devotion. It wants your belief and your dedication. It wants your hope that it will provide you with a solution for your relief. In other words, this false God wants you to continue to turn to it, the perpetrator, for relief. So what is the most deadly crime that this false God has inflicted upon you? It is the crime of forcing into your consciousness a belief that duality is real and a manifestation of universal design. It is not. The lie you have been told is that duality is the magnetic force that creates all universes of light and love. This is not true, my dearest friends. Duality is not the subject of what you call the yin and yang of creation. Duality is a universal crime against life itself. It exists as the crime of creation being enacted through the use of a lie. This thus produces a false creation that isn't real. It's an illusion and a lie. So here is your dilemma. You persist in praying to the false god based upon its illusion of duality. You want the love and you want the peace that love brings. Yet you pray to the very one who took that away from you in the first place. And believe me, the false god will never return to you that which it has robbed you of. And that is because once you are made whole again, once peace and love are restored, this false god will cease to exist. Religions were designed solely for the purpose of directing your spirituality to this false god. What you call the New Age was similarly designed for the purpose of gathering up the wayward souls who were beginning to recognize the hypocrisy of religions and therefore presenting a danger of waking up to knowledge of the real perpetrator. So the New Age was created to keep those souls invested in this false god in newly developed, more creative forms. What you need to understand is this. The false god knows that you need occasional relief. You need the relief to keep you alive. So it has no problem providing avenues of temporary relief, as long as those avenues keep you hooked to its baseline reality. I, Archangel Michael, am here to expose this false god of torture and torment. And then, with the co-creative help of those who are interested, to eradicate it once and for all, finally and for good. And for those who may be wondering, this false god is not a persona. It is not the Luciferian entity whom you call the devil. It is not a so-called fallen angel. Those entities are merely minions of this false god. They are designed to take your focus off of what is really going on. They do so by keeping you in a state of fear and torment where your only concern is survival. And these minions, who are already destroyed by their embrace of this false god, are repaid with the energy of your souls and your fear. They themselves are so bereft of life force that they must feed on the reverse flow life force of fear and anger. They exist as the dregs of the universe, and ultimately should be pitied, not feared. This does not mean that you yourself should embrace them, for they are very dangerous to your heart, much like a drowning person exists as a danger to one who does not know how to save them. No, you should never ever engage with such demolished entities. Leave their fate up to higher powers who know how to handle their situation. My intention is to assist you in restoring yourselves to your right minds, to where you can see the existence of this false god and take your power back. Your first step in doing so is to come to terms with your deeply held belief that suffering, death, and pain are a part of your God-given divine experience. Your belief that such things are what make you human. These things do not make you human. They make you less human than ever before. Many on this planet are concerned about the masks, the lockdowns, and everything else that goes along with that. But none of these concerns will bear fruit unless you first address what it is you actually believe about the nature of life and of being human. Until you stop sanctifying death and suffering as necessary for your evolution, your troubles will persist and only get worse. Unless you stop praying to the perpetrator for relief and get back to your true heart, you will find this planet devoid of solutions. Right now, you are caught in a war. This is a war for your souls. I highly recommend that you do not take part in this war. The forces arrayed against you are massive in nature, and in your highly programmed state, you are no match for their power over you. Instead, I suggest that you wake up to the erroneous conclusions that you have drawn about what it means to be a human being. I suggest that you learn to connect with who you really are, in which case their illusion stands no chance against you. It will all be revealed as the incredible dream that it always was. But dreams have experiential consequences. And in this case, the consequences are far-reaching and exceedingly long-term in nature. We are talking about intergalactic, interplanetary dreams that must be banished so that the true power of this universe can manifest once again. I shall return later with much more to say on this subject. But what I am able to say is wholly determined by your level of receptivity. So go within and consult with your heart. Believe what it tells you. Your heart only knows love. It knows nothing about pain, suffering, and death. Take what it shares with you very, very seriously. I am your beloved friend in space, Archangel Michael. Okay, so I hope you all enjoyed hearing that powerful message from Archangel Michael. And I'm sure there will be questions because obviously there's more that needs to be said on this very big topic. What I want you guys to understand is that Archangel Michael's total focus is freeing us, freeing all of us from the restrictions, the enslavement, all of this stuff that we have been living with and suffering with for eons of time. That is 100% his focus. Total freedom, absolute freedom for us all, for this planet, and even beyond. Okay, so I know that he's not going to give us the whole thing all in one video, in one message. So if you have questions, no worries. I'm sure he's going to come back with more. Yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if so, please give this video a thumbs up and share it out with anyone else who you think would find value in this information. And be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell because I am here every Sunday, Tuesday, and Friday with all new videos. And with that, I'm sending you all so much love, light, and positive energy. And I so look forward to seeing you in the next video. Namaste.